Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is time to pick my March TBR. I have my Kindle here because I'm reading a book on it, but I have these 3 books left on my February TBR. I am just under a third of the way through Hidden Figures, which I should finish up in the next couple of days. There's about a week left of February. And then I've not started The Remains of the Day yet, but I think I can get through this one pretty quickly. It's a pretty short book. So I'll probably get this one done in February, and I am hoping to at least start The Fellowship of the Ring. For my February TBR, ended up picking The Hobbit, but then my partner told me that I should read The Fellowship of the Ring first. So my plan is to at least start this book. I won't finish in February, but I'm not going to put it back on my shelf to pick for my March TBR. So all 3 of these books I'm going to set off to the side because I'm hopeful to still get to them in February, or at least start them. So you'll have to check out all the books I read in February video to see if I did. And then, as always, I have my Kindle here. We'll see if I pick anything off of it. I'm just gonna set it down here below. I did add a couple more books to my TBR. It was my birthday in February, so I have a couple of new books here, some that I bought, some that I added, got as a present. I have one more borrowed book, so we are full again. There's one on top. So the goal for March is to get this down a little bit. I think for March, I'm going to pick 4 books out of my jar, prompts out of my jar, because I don't think I'm going to get to finish The Fellowship of the Ring in February, so that'll be rolled over to my March TBR. So without more rambling, let's get started on picking. Get one here, first prompt. 1-word title. Let's take a look. Okay, I have quite a few 1-word titles, so I narrowed it down to 3. I have Becoming by Michelle Obama, which would be helping me finish out a autobiography video that I've been working on for a while. I have Saint, which was on a previous TBR that will help me finish out a series, and then Together will also help me finish out a series. This is a new release from January, and I am really excited to read this book, and I also want to pass it along to someone else, so I think I am going to put this one on my March TBR. I almost said February TBR. March TBR, so then I can read it and pass it along. It is a young adult book. The first book was a really fast read for me, so I'm very excited to continue this story with these characters. So first book for March is 1-word title, Together by Keith F. Miller. And then we'll add these 2 back to the shelf. Pick number 2. A small one here. Author's name starting with H. I think I know which one I want to choose, but let's take a look. Okay, I actually have 2 choices. I was thinking I wanted to choose Out on a Limb by Hannah Bodum Young. This one's new to me. But then I also have Haruki Murakami, The City and Its Uncertain Walls, which is a book that I got for my birthday, and it just seems like it is so up my alley, and I've just been really excited to read this book. So even though I thought I was going to choose this one, I'm going with The City and Its Uncertain Walls because I am very excited to read this book. And then we'll add this one back to my TBR shelf. Pick number 3. Oop, I have a couple here. Only have one now. What is our prompt? 5-word title. Let's start counting letters for 5-word title. Okay, we have 2 options. Our options are the autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt, which I have to say, for some reason, this book is so intimidating to me, and I don't know why. And then I also have The Unmaking of June Farrow, which this is a book that I'm pretty sure I'm going to like because I've liked everything I've read by this author so far. Do I put the book that intimidates me on here, or do I go with a book that I know I will like? Okay, I'm gonna read the first page of each of these to just kind of see what the writing style is, to see how fast I can get through them. Okay, I think I'm just in the mood for fiction, so we are going to put The Unmaking of June Farrow onto my TBR, and we're going to put the autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt back on my shelf. And one of these days I am going to read this. Reading like the first page, like the writing style or like the voice that she is telling her story in is really interesting. I just am not in the mood to read this right now. So this one might just have to be a summer project for me. And let's pick just one more book for my March TBR. I'm trying to keep these realistic, knowing how busy I'm going to be. On a previous TBR, let's take a look at what we've got. I think my options are The Death and Life of the Great Lakes, which is a book. I think I'm like 90 pages into it, and I just set it down because I wasn't like clicking with it, so this might be a good option. Saint was on a previous TBR, which this is also a young adult book, so it won't take me that long to read. The Little Wartime Library was on a previous TBR. That's historical fiction, and also a borrowed book. And then How Minds Change was also on a previous TBR. That's nonfiction, and I don't feel like reading that right now. I also think John Glenn, a memoir, was on a previous TBR. But I am just not vibing with nonfiction right now. It's just not catching my interest currently. But I have Saint, or I have The Death and Life of the Great Lakes. I think I should put The Death and Life of the Great Lakes onto my March TBR since I already have it started, and then hopefully can finally finish this book up. So we're gonna put that one on. We'll put Saint back on the shelf. This one I will get to in this year, even if it doesn't end up on a TBR. So I'll put that one back on the shelf. We now have a little space again. So here are the 4 books for my March TBR. Let's go through them. 1-word title, Together. Author that starts with H. The City and Its Uncertain Walls. 5-word title, The Unmaking of June Farrow. And on a previous TBR, The Death and Life of the Great Lakes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.